So today we'll be taking a look at a few stories involving Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, The Rock, and of course, The Fiend vs. Roman Reigns. Don't forget to check out the WWCC Shorts channel and the new merchandise over at worldwidenyc.com. Let's start things off with this Randy Orton story. While appearing on the Kurt Angle show, Randy Orton explained the trouble and heat he had with someone following his WrestleMania match this year. It wasn't heat with someone in the WWE locker room, it was heat with his own 4-year-old daughter, Brooklyn. Brooklyn was used to Orton coming over to them or waving hello, but he couldn't do it this time around because of protocol reasons and because of the storyline. Orton explained that story while speaking with Kurt Angle. I think the youngest one was more upset, and I'm talking about WrestleMania, that I didn't wave back. I got a video. I think Kim posted it on Instagram. Usually, I'll give them a little love. I'll come over, I'll kiss the kids, give mom a kiss, and high-five the baby. I wasn't able to do that for obvious reasons at Mania. And when the match concluded, I had to get the hell out of there, too. So, in essence, my 4-year-old took it like Daddy was just blowing her off. So, I wasn't afraid of the Fiend character, but definitely there's a little heat there between Dad and Brooklyn because I didn't say hi. So Randy's daughter took offense to Orton just jetting out of the ring at the end of the match without acknowledging them. But like Orton mentioned, he couldn't do it because of the protocol. Plus, he didn't really have much time for a big post-match celebration because The Fiend and Alexa Bliss needed to have their big moment post-match as well. So there was a few obstacles there that stopped Randy from acknowledging his family, but he did pay to bring them all out to the first WWE show with fans in well over a year. Randy Orton revealed in a post on Twitter that he spent $20,000 just to have his whole family there. So he definitely wanted them there for sure, no doubt about that. An old viral picture of The Rock that has a big backstory to it has started to go viral once again because fans didn't know if the story is true or not. There is a horrible and embarrassing picture of The Rock from a live WWE event in the early thousands. And the caption of the photo said that Chris Jericho took a camera from the crowd and he was the one to snap that picture of The Rock. A fan that came across that picture of The Rock tweeted at Chris Jericho and asked him if the story of him taking the picture was true or not. Chris Jericho responded to the fan on Twitter and had this to say, "It's true, it's damn true, at The Rock." Some fans also pointed out that Chris Jericho first confirmed that rumor during one of his earlier books as well. So a lot of fans are just discovering that picture and story for the first time. But yes, it is true, Chris Jericho was the photographer for that bad picture of The Rock. With Roman Reigns' title reign being well over 200 days long and possibly having Jimmy and Jay both by his side now, WWE fans are starting to wonder if anyone at all can stop Roman Reigns and dethrone him. Roman's title reign has been phenomenal so far. We've seen him have a great story after great story time and time again. His feud with Jey, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Cesaro, Drew McIntyre, and more. Each feud he had was written perfectly and had so much great storytelling. What Roman Reigns says about elevating everyone he works with is absolutely true. Roman can get into the ring with anyone, and due to this great storytelling with all of his feuds, it's easy to get invested. Cesaro will be a great challenge for Roman Reigns, but fans expect Roman to find a cheating way to retain against Cesaro, and if that does happen, who's next? The possibility of Big E being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns is a great idea. The reason why they broke E up from the New Day was to see how he can shine on his own. So a story with Roman Reigns could be coming down the line. Then of course you have the big three of John Cena, The Rock, and Brock Lesnar. Now, all of these three matches and stories would be great, but those three shouldn't be the one to actually dethrone Roman Reigns at all. They're all extremely part-timers that can't be there as Universal Champion every week. So if those matches were to happen, Roman would have to retain there. But who's the big opponent that's on the current roster that could possibly dethrone Roman Reigns with a great story? Well, how about The Fiend? The Fiend is of course a touchy subject right now because fans have lost hope in the character's direction due to how he's written. And you just get that feeling that some fans are done with him because of the direction. They give up. Bray Wyatt has even made a few posts on Instagram in the past just mocking some of the comments that he hears about The Fiend being stale or it's getting old. It's the same thing over and over again and other things like that. So he hears what those negative fans are saying, but those comments aren't directed at Bray Wyatt per se. It's a great character that needs proper direction from the writers that actually care. Now, which one storyline in WWE gets special writing and special attention more than anything else on WWE programming? Well, that will obviously be Roman Reigns' story. Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon, and others are all reportedly deeply involved in the storyline direction. Unlike other storylines that seem like they get slapped together last second, Roman's story seems carefully written and seems like time gets actually put into the story. That's exactly what The Fiend needs right now. He needs some careful writing and storytelling from the writers who care and know what they're doing. Those writers and that sort of direction is over at Smackdown with Roman's story. So, with Raw writers throwing him to the side, with Alexa Bliss basically taking his role on Raw, what if you give The Fiend a change of scenery and send him back to SmackDown for his revenge on Roman Reigns? Remember, Roman and Bray Wyatt were originally supposed to feud with each other last September after Roman basically stole the title away from The Fiend and giving him a 7-day-long reign. We saw Alexa Bliss have a stare down with Roman Reigns, and Bray Wyatt even introduced a rip-off Paul Heyman character in the Funhouse. And that was supposed to lead us to Reigns vs. Wyatt, but that was all canceled. You can sort of see why it was canceled. Obviously, The Fiend wasn't going to defeat Roman Reigns at the time, so maybe they wanted to avoid that loss for The Fiend, so that makes sense. But then he goes over to Raw and suffers 2 embarrassing losses to Randy Orton. So that defeats that whole purpose. But now, in current day, where Roman is having an unstoppable long reign, and where The Fiend doesn't have anything to do, what if you put them head to head and give us that feud we were supposed to see last fall? Remember that Roman even told us how he felt about The Fiend back at SummerSlam. Roman told The Fiend, "This has always been mine. You're just a freak in a mask. You can't handle this responsibility." So we had a lot of things building up there, but we never got that feud. And that last line also tells us how Roman views The Fiend. He doesn't see him as a monster, he sees him as a freak in a mask. So maybe that's his mistake too. Maybe he underestimates The Fiend. That's what leads to The Fiend dethroning him. You just think of Bray's creative mind and storytelling, and you combined it with Roman's storytelling that's so carefully worked on, and we would most likely have just another magical feud and story there. The Fiend needs to be redeemed right now in a major way. We all thought WrestleMania would be that redemption, but apparently it wasn't. It just dug him deeper. So maybe doing something with Roman puts him back on track to how he should be treated. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Would you like to see Roman Reigns versus The Fiend? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.